What up, YouTube? This is Wendy here. I'm back with another little review for you. This time it's Krater, and the game is called Shadows over Soulside. Shadows over Soulside is actually like the expansion name, if you like. And this game is fairly recent. It's a dungeon crawler, a lot like Diablo, a lot like the game that's soon to be released, Torchlight 2. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and play offline. At the moment, the game does not support online play or PvP, but it is the online play is officially out, I think, on June the 12th, and the developers have said that there's actually gonna be PvP implemented as well. And I'm not gonna hit new game because the introduction is really quite lengthy. I'm instead gonna hit continue, and we can go off where I started earlier. And I did not get too far in the game. If you're worried about spoilers, don't, because this is only 5 minutes of gameplay. I'm not gonna show you any of the pre-quests, so you don't miss any of that. Just let it load here. There are basically, you know, not Diablo. Krater is basically a dungeon crawler, like I said, and you have three classes. You have your bruiser type class, character. You have your medic / healer, and you have like your ranged attacker. And this is actually taking really long to load. I'm not sure why. Here we go. Okay, it's up. I'm actually gonna go ahead and lower my settings a bit so that there isn't any lag. I had my graphics on high, but they're on medium now. Anything else I can change? I'm actually gonna go ahead and put them on low. You actually won't notice this much at all. I hope to notice the FPS. As you can see, you have a very basic setup here. You have 1, 2, 3. You have 6 bars. The first 2 I know are for your bruiser, which is this guy, your melee. The second 2 are for your healer, which I think is this guy. It's basically a heal and a nano stream, and that's actually pretty cool. I'm just going to give you an example of the graphical qualities, but before that I'm just going to show you that this is a ranged, which is a stun, and he has a sort of area slow. It's called a regulator. And first thing I'm going to do is press 4 on this guy. Now he keeps channeling. As you can see, there's a range to it. So if we're in like fights where there isn't much moving around but we are being swarmed, I have to cast that on the bruiser, and he will heal up instead of me having to manually heal him every few seconds. So now that I've explained the basic mechanics, or an example of the basic mechanics, we should find some wolves or something here to fight. There isn't much combat early game. You will notice, okay, this is actually quite epic. You actually control them all at once, by the way. So if you want to heal him, you can constantly heal, and then you can press 2 at the same time, and then 1 at the same time. You can, if you have the right kind of keyboard, you can press all your keys at the same time and cast everything. But the problem is that you have to select a few things for a few spells. Now here I'm going to press 2. 2 is like a mass taunt. 1 is like a sweeping attack. Just going to heal up. Lester the Goose. Do it again. Yeah, those of you familiar with like item values and general dungeon crawlers and RPG games, MMO games, will notice that here everything is in a percentage of your damage, if it's a damage skill. This is 50% weapon damage, and it gives you a taunt. This is 120% damage, and it generates threat, which is what we want. So if we were to make sort of like comparisons to WoW as to what the game is, right here we have our tank, our main tank. Right here we have our DPS, and right here we have our healer, and that's how the game goes. You do get loot, but I'm not looting anything because I'm not really wasting that time. So press 2 there to taunt, and 1 for another sort of threat generator. Lots and lots of achievements for this game, as I hear on Steam. I'm just going to progress a bit more through the game The music is absolutely fantastic. It changes depending where you are. It's a little loud though. I'm not sure if you can hear me on that well, but I'm gonna leave it like that because it's pretty good. The game is set in post-apocalyptic Sweden, as you can see from their names: Lester the Groove, Tore the Tucci, Jari, Fagelholk. You know, this is set in post-apocalyptic Sweden, and everybody is wearing a different type or a very unique type of gas mask, because I'd assume that there has been some radioactive fallout or something, much like Fallout itself actually. And you know, you are basically working for an agency, and what you do for the agency is you do everything for the agency really. You carry out like a bunch of tasks and level up your characters. There's even a gear screen, as you can see here. When I open up character, you do have gear for your character. You even have like level ups. So here I can choose, I think, to put a booster in here, then put a booster in here, and it boosts your 2 abilities. You have bodily implants. I actually have an implant. Find stamina. Well, okay, there's a stamina implant. Operate. I think that gives me the implant now. I was actually certain, almost certain anyway, that you can put gear on your character as well. Not sure, but here there's a multiplayer tab. It's currently ineffective, but by June the 12th, like I said, what I wanted to explain was that by June the 12th, this game and everything you level up on offline mode will be pushed on to multiplayer mode, and there you will have your characters, and you can join other people with their characters and fight alongside them with harder enemies, you know, get better loot. And it's a lot like Diablo, a lot like Torchlight 2 if they implement the multiplayer, or from what I've seen, it's going to be very similar. All the recent dungeon crawlers to come out are all quite similar, but they all bring their own kind of touch to the genre, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good game actually. Definitely better for those who are like Borderlands fans and are trying to transition into the genre but they can't. This is a perfect game for fans of those sort of comic-like FPS RPGs that want to try out dungeon crawlers. Maybe your specs aren't good enough for Diablo 3. This is actually a great game for that as well. It is within the region of £6 to £11. That's like €8 to like €15. I'm not sure. Probably like $20 or something here over there in America. Pretty cheap, really very cheap. For the extreme amount of content that you're getting, and there are tons of updates. It's already been updated twice. There have been 2 patches in the recent time that it's been out, and by June the 12th multiplayer will be out, so you do want to get this game quite early. And not June the 12th, by the way. I've been saying June the 12th all this time. I meant July the 12th. So by July the 12th, your characters that you've updated, upgraded, leveled, and progress through in single player will be available to use online with other players via the multiplayer system, matchmaking system right here. I hope you enjoyed this review. Krater, I have given it an 8 out of 10 for its unique sort of take on the genre, for its upgradability, its expansion, progress, and it actually has a lot of potential as a game. So thanks for watching. See you guys.